Hey everybody, it's your pal Mike Zombie, and this week we're going to talk about Hide and Creep from 2004. This is another one off the compilation I bought, which is I'm kind of baffled by this. It's getting 5.1 stars out of 10, obviously, from 599 users on IMDb. I think that might be a little high for my viewing pleasure. Residents of a small southern town contend with bloodthirsty zombies, a mysterious flying saucer that we never see, and bad television reception. That's all they put. I'm going to be honest with you. I've got the box right here. There are two movies on this compilation billed as being asylum films, and I thought to myself, well, I'll watch the other one called Hide and Creep, because it says here, zombies, rice, and the dead, and small blah, 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 and a bunch of shit. Then it says rated R for violence, gore, nudity, and some strong language. I'm like, all right. Thank you, Asylum. There'll be titties in this, and I'll get through it. So almost immediately when the film starts, it's just a fucking sausage fest. Holy crap. Now, before I get to the sausage fest portion of this, I could not find any real link between Asylum and Hide and Creep. It's made by a different company, produced by a different company, by their own billing, and I couldn't find any Asylum branding aside from this DVD box cover. I went to Asylum's website. I looked at their films. It's not listed, so I think it may have been a printing mistake. Though, this could have been an Asylum film. It's kind of on par with everything else they've got going on. But what is with the fucking dick? Why is there dick in this movie? No one wants to see naked guys. Nobody. Women. Do women even want to see naked guys? Dicks are just ugly. I mean, unless it's like 15 inches long, dicks are fucking, who cares, right? This guy especially. Now, listen, I'm not in the habit of judging dicks, but they kept showing this guy's dick, so I probably should address it. It looked like a stack of dimes. This was a problem. This guy was probably pissing on his own balls. That's, all I'm going to say. So, guy wakes up and I'm gonna blow through this. Oh God, did I say blow? Oh, for fuck's sake, that was accidental. I'm gonna leave it in because that was awfully gay of me. But we're a gay-friendly show. When I'm not pissing and moaning about seeing dicks. I'll just leave it in. I'm fucking tired. I'm in a good mood. I got a bunch of popsicles that are thawing right now on my desk in front of me that I want to eat. So I'm going to go through this quickly so I can enjoy my popsicles. Guy wakes up naked in a graveyard. He's in a tree. He's been abducted by aliens that we never really see. We never see the spaceship, though they talk about it quite a bit. He's lost a 64.5 Mustang, which means more to him than the girlfriend that he was fucking inside of it, who's also vanished. Suddenly, ta-da, zombies are everywhere, fucking everything up. The police are nowhere to be found. There's a weird chubby preacher who's cleaning up the place, who seems to be getting stepped on by his congregation of, I think, 2 or 3 people we see. And we join a small group of hunters headed up to a cabin, a hunting lodge, if you will, to watch Skidamax and Spice Channel. Zombies are everywhere. These might be some of the worst zombies I've ever seen. It's just a bunch of men and women with super dark mascara around their eyes, chewing on pinkish blood. Very little work went into the zombies, though this film did have one of the most convincing low-budget zombie head explosions, partial explosions I can recall seeing. If anybody from Hide and Creep should hear this, I'd like to say that when the preacher shot the zombie in church and his head cracked open and the blood flew up behind him onto the wall, that was a phenomenal shot. That was Hollywood blockbuster caliber. Who did it? Who knows? I'm not sure who on your crew did it, but that was done properly. It was a very quick shot. The distortion of his head looked real. It looked believable. And the blood splatter looked good. That was the best effect of the film, bar none. But I've jumped ahead. Zombies are everywhere in this small, I think it's Alabama town. It's Alabama or Arkansas or some uncle dad place where, zombies bust out. And people are walking around like, fuck, there's zombies. All right, well, we'll have to fight. And the zombies aren't very motivated, neither are the people fighting them. The chief of police is off on some retreat somewhere. His constable is in Florida, wakes up at some girl's house, and they're doing whatever they're doing. So it's manned by this woman. That came out weird. And she's just on the phone bullshitting and doesn't give a fuck about anything going on. A guy from the government shows up, from Homeland Security, and he's just an ass. He's not believable. And when he dies, we really don't give a fuck. And it's just... I don't know. It's like 8 people, and we keep shifting back and forth throughout the story. They're either at the police station trying to figure out what to do, but not even being... You know what? That's the problem. These people weren't scared. The zombies weren't scary, and these people weren't scared. They're just hanging out. Well, what are we going to do? I don't know. What do you think we should do? Well, maybe we should shoot him in the head. Okay, we'll shoot him in the head. And that was how it went. Between the people when they were at the police station, when they were at the cemetery, the people who all suddenly show up at church for the sermon for the... Oh, my God, what are we going to do? Well, there's zombies outside. The only person that had any spunk, any sort of fire, was the preacher, who was becoming a zombie himself. I don't know what it was about this film. The only time it went for a serious move was in the last 4 minutes of this film. And I'll spoil it because you're not going to watch this film, and I wouldn't blame you for not watching it. Some of the rednecks are driving away, and the father's got his 2 little girls, and one of these girls is probably 6, and she's like, Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. We need to stop and eat. And he's like, yeah, we'll stop and eat. We'll stop and eat. They're trying to outrun this shit. And she grabs his hand and bites it because she's becoming a zombie. And at that point, I was like, whoa, oh shit. Because you didn't see it coming. And that was the only serious part of this film. And they saved it for the final 4 minutes. This wasn't a bad film because I found myself laughing at a handful of parts through it. There was some really funny gags in this film. I'm not sure if this was a writing issue because it seemed to be a little clever. It was funny in some parts. Or if it was just the acting was uninspired. Looking at the cast and looking at the crew, like one of the guys is the guy that did all the music. So he's either casting his friends, which, as you know, can be a complete disaster, or casting people that can help him produce this film, which is an equal disaster. I'm not really sure. This wasn't a bad film. I could take it or leave it. If it was on again, I'd probably watch it. But I don't think it's a film I could recommend. It's a couple of laughs, and maybe because the beginning kind of reminded me of Clerks. The guy's in the video store, and he's got snappy answers, and it's kind of... I mean, he's not intelligent like Randall and Dante, but Kevin Smith didn't write this. It wasn't supposed to be funny. I don't think. Parts of it were. Maybe that's why... Maybe that's why I liked it. It kind of had a little tiny bit of a Clerks video store feel. There was some topless women in this. Not the one you wanted to see. I forget her name, the lady who is holding down the fort at the police station. She's very, very pretty lady. And she's very endowed. I hate to say endowed about a woman's chest because then I feel like she has a big penis. Maybe she did. I didn't see her naked. She gets down to her bra. That was okay. She's the one you really wanted to see topless. Now, you do see some other women topless in this at a strip club that they decide to go, like, we better make sure the strip club is safe. And they were okay. Not who we wanted to see. The part of this I think I enjoyed most was the grocery store, as people are running around just loading up their carts, and this guy keeps getting on the PA. Thanks for shopping at whatever the fuck this place is called. By the way, we're still open for business. We appreciate you being here. And the parking lot is currently zombie free. If you'd like one of our associates to escort you to your vehicle, now would be a great time for that. Please no tipping. It's a pleasure to serve you. Okay, that was good. It ends with no progress. That's okay. That's the thing. There was no progress in this film. Zombies showed up and people kind of walked around like, okay, well, we'll just shoot him and walk around. There was no panic. There was nothing to be afraid of. I would say to the writer, Chance Shirley, the next, and good God, all right, and director, of course. You know, Chance, the movie was somewhat entertaining, but you didn't seem to know what direction to write it in. And I think the actors didn't really know what direction to take it in. It was okay. On the Bradinsky scale, this would be a borrow to a don't bother. I didn't walk away with anything from this. Not really. But it didn't piss me off. It wasn't poorly made. It just didn't seem to have much direction. So, if you want to watch every zombie film ever made, like myself, oh yeah, go ahead and check it out. It's an unnecessary 85 minutes. We could have wrapped this shit up in 60 minutes, maybe even 45. If we'd cut some of the hunting nonsense out. All right, I'm not sure what I'm doing next week. Oh, and I will say, and what a poopster to come back on with. I was telling McPierce the other day that I think if you start my time on this show with my what the fuck, I'll send a review of Dawn of the Dead Extended Mole Hours to this guy McPierce to see if he puts it on his show. If you count that week in, then this is almost within like 2 days after you're going to hear this, is my 2-year anniversary with A Little Dead podcast. And I would like to say thank you to Daryl. It's been great working with you. And I don't mean to say that to sound like a departure because we're going to continue to work together. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being really flexible. It's been really fun. I'd like to thank Misfit Boy. I don't get you on here as much as I like, but when you're on here, I sure do enjoy the show. Please come back with us soon. I know he's got some stuff in the works, folks. I'm not promising bullshit and smoke. I know John is coming back with some stuff, and I'm excited about that. And thanks to everybody who's contributed. This is a show that I do enjoy listening to, especially when you guys call in. Speaking of calling in and talking shit, Vaughn. I'm going to be honest. When Vaughn would just call initially just to talk about how bad I was and how McPierce had a golden dick and he could fart magic and it would still sound better than what I was doing, I was at first somewhat put off. I'm like, man, you know what? Fuck this guy. Who's this guy? And then I listened to Motion Picture Massacre and I figured out what Vaughn was all about. And now I'm Vaughn's biggest fan. I really like Vaughn. So Vaughn, thank you. And what the fuck? You're too busy raising your kid to call and give me shit? I really hope Vaughn calls to talk about how shitty, how great. That's Vaughn's move. I say Hide and Creep was really shitty. And he'll call like 2 weeks later. And you'll hear him walking around work, and he's on his fucking Bluetooth, and he's like, yeah, I want to talk to Daryl. Everything you do is amazing. Mike, Hide and Creep. Oh, my God. That was almost better than Godfather. He'll call in just to take a fucking other direction with me. And Vaughn, I love you for it. You're a part of this show as well. And everybody that's contributed, please keep going. Because I told Daryl, I've been here for 2 years now. Let's go for a couple of more. And I got some stuff coming up on the side, maybe even some TV things going on that I'm going to pull McPierce and these guys into. It's going to be really fun. So we'll see how this is going to pan out. Anyway, so this would be a borrow to not bother. Fuck it, borrow. I do think 5.1 stars from 600 people is fucking crazy, but maybe they were like me. Didn't like it, didn't hate it, not sure what to think, so I'm not gonna bomb it. Maybe that was the position they were taking. Maybe they saw another version. I don't know. I just saw the one on this collection. So 2 down. What else have I done on this? I have to say I've already reviewed. I believe I did Night of the Living Dead. I've done White Zombie, Last of the Living. I did like Last of the Living. I remember that. Hide and Creep, which was meh, and I Am Omega from last week. So I've got like Grave Mistake, Awaken the Dead, Zombie Dearest, King of the Zombies, and Teenage Zombies, at least on this compilation alone coming up. We're going to be well through episode 200 with that stuff. And episode 200 is coming, folks. Tell us what you want us to do. I think I may have misspoke, so let me say for episode 200, I am going to review the Italian zombie movie, The Grindhouse Cut from Mr. Tom Berdinsky. I'll be doing that as well as a film of your choosing for episode 200. So please keep sending your stuff in. Daryl's compiling it, putting it together, figuring out what we're going to do. And I'm sure in about a week or so, 2 weeks, he's going to get a hold of me and say, well, here's the ones you can choose from, and I'll pick something to do. So, all right, folks, enjoy. Have yourself a nice week. I'm going to edit this and go the fuck to bed. Sorry. And I'll be listening tomorrow.